Hi there. Okay, so many emails about training and motivation to train and just get out there and do it and stuff like that. So I've got a few minutes spare, so I thought I'd give you a quick video on this. There's so many people have been asking about how do I train and how do I get the motivation to keep training and blah blah blah. Well, one of the things I do is I set myself a time to train, and therefore I make it a bit like an appointment. Now, if you've got an important appointment, you don't miss it. You make sure that you're there and that you're on time. So, for example, if you had a doctor's appointment at 10 o'clock, you'd be at the doctor's before 10, ready to go in at 10 o'clock. Knowing, of course, that you'd be queuing for ages. You probably won't get seen till 11, but that's by the by. So I set myself a schedule each day for what I'm doing. So, a typical day would be up at 6, shower, weigh in, check everything, drink lots of water, get loads of work done, 10:03 training, and then by the time I've finished training, everything else, it's round about midday, chill out for a bit, do a bit more work, eat about 4 or 5 o'clock. That's basically the day done. Why do I choose something like 10:03? Well, if you've got a training partner, or even if you haven't, and you say, well, we'll train at, for argument's sake, 10 o'clock or half 10 or whatever. Everybody's used to these things of 10 o'clock, 10:30, whatever. And invariably people are late because 10 o'clock becomes 5 past, 10 past, whatever. I remember years and years ago when I was in the car industry, everybody set meetings at 10, 9:30, 11, whatever. I didn't. Mine were things like 9:07, 10:04, 11:43, things like that. Really weird times. So weird, in fact, that people phone and say, "We just had a memo. This meeting is going to start at 10:37. Do you mean 10:30?" I say, "No, 10:37. Otherwise, we'd have put 10:30." And it sticks in people's mind, and more often than not, that they're on time. Just a weird little peculiar thing. So I set myself an odd training time. And even if people message me and say, can we train at 10 today, or do you mind if I move training to 11, or do you mind if I move training to 12, or whatever? Of course I'm going to move training with a training partner or training partners, but I will always message back saying I can't make 12, I can only make 12:01 or 11:58 or whatever. It's just the way I do things. But I make an appointment out of it, so that to me it's an important appointment and it must be done. And that's one of the ways in which I always make sure that I can get my training done, alongside all the other things of calling yourself all sorts of lazy fat names if you don't go and train. But also, it's not only the fact that you've got to go there, it's the fact that you must remain motivated whilst you are training. Now, I've said before, and I said in an email, a few emails back, a few days ago, that some of the best training sessions I've had are ones where I didn't really want to go. But equally, some of the worst ones I've had is where I've just turned up. And by I mean just turned up, I mean just turned up. You turn up and you don't really get much done, you don't really do anything. It's okay getting yourself off the sofa, out the door, and off training. You got to actually train when you get there. Now, one of the things I've noticed with things over the years is that if yourself, because quite often you're guilty, I'm guilty of it, you're guilty of it, we're all guilty of it. When you've got training partners around, one or either or all of you start talking a bit too much. Before you know it, you've talked yourself through the session, or you've taken that much time off that wasn't really much point in doing this one. So you have to be aware of things like that. And if you find yourself doing it, again, tell yourself off, stop yabbering on, and get training. And if your training partner starts to want to have a conversation, just say, shut up and train. Or if you want to talk, we'll talk after training. Or you keep talking whilst I'm training. Or whatever it needs to get that across. Because, like I said, it's okay turning up, but you've got to actually have that motivation while you're there. And it's amazing how much better you will feel when you keep that motivation throughout your training session. Anyway, that's what we try to do all the time. Obviously, there's times it goes wrong. Obviously, there's days you have off. And obviously, there's times where you just go, oh, stuff it, I'm not going. Of course, we all have days like that. But the key is to make those a minimum. Make them so rare that you can't remember the last time you did it. I can't actually, in fact, remember the last time I said, no, I'm supposed to go today, but I'm not going. Stuff it. Yeah. I've had days where I've been late, but I've still gone. And I can remember a couple of weeks ago where I was going to train at 10 and we put it off and put it off and put it off until 5 o'clock, but we did train. So, you know, there's times where you do it, and that's it. Now, another big thing people say is that they haven't got time to train, which always, you know, really? Okay. Did you watch TV? Yeah, I watched this film, that film, watched this TV show, that TV show. Well, there's 4 hours gone. Okay, yeah. All those sort of things. I had to sleep on the sofa for 40 minutes. Yep. Yeah. Had another meal. Yep. All those sort of things. There's always time. No one's that busy that they can never train. So don't ever hit me with that I'm too busy excuse. Either your time management is the worst in the world or you're lying. Or both. Right? You've always got time. You can make time. It's like the people who are drunk or eating too much or whatever. I haven't got time to train. You had time to stuff that booze down and eat that grub though, didn't you? And so it goes on. There's always an excuse not to do something. Find a reason to do it and it'll be fine. And that same mentality you take into learning. So let's say, for example, you've got some of our DVDs or you're on a course or whatever. That same mentality of I'm going to train, I'm going to keep my focus, I'm going to train hard and blah, blah, blah. You want that same mentality when you're looking at the lessons. That same mentality when you're looking at a DVD and learning that new technique. Because you're going to go and train it, drill it, learn it, absorb it, make it your own. And you can only do that with focus and determination. It's no good just watching the DVD, looking at it and saying, yeah, I think I know how to do that one. I know that one. Do you? Can you do it under pressure? Do you really know it? The only time you know it is when you can do it when somebody's trying to stop you from doing it. Then you can do it. So again, a lot of going on here. I'll stop rambling now, but I thought I'd better put this video out for you so you can get more of an idea as to my thoughts about training and motivation, and a little extra at the end there about focus and stuff like that. Anyway, keep the emails and the questions coming and I'll keep the answers coming. Thanks again. Bye bye.